With 2023 coming to an end, it's got me thinking a lot about what Resident Evil is going to have to offer as a franchise for the year 2024. This has also got me thinking a lot about the Resident Evil 5 remake, assuming that's next, and what I would like it to be like. And so this video I'm going to go over a couple of things that I think the Resident Evil 5 remake needs for it to be as good as the Resident Evil 4 remake, if not better. Alright, at number 1 we have Desperate Escape and Lost in Nightmares. Now, these were two DLCs that came out with the Gold Edition of Resident Evil 5 that came out in 2010. Lost in Nightmares goes over what happened in the incident at the Spencer estate whenever Jill jumped out of the window with Wesker and Chris thought they both died. Desperate Escape takes place after Chris and Sheva leave Jill after the fight with Wesker, and Josh Stone comes to save her, and then they have their own little mission trying to get to the communication center to let Chris and Sheva know about Wesker's serum that he has to inject into himself every so often to make sure that he keeps his powers. I believe it was called PG67AW or something like that. Anyways, I think these two chapters are pretty important to keep in the game, and I'm really hoping we don't have to wait a couple of months like we had to for Mercenaries in Separate Ways, which we'll talk about Mercenaries in a second. But I think Lost in Nightmares could even be put as like the first chapter of Resident Evil 5 Remake. You could just start off playing that as a flashback while Chris is driving into Africa. At number 2, I have the Mercenaries mode. Now, I'm sure they're going to keep this just like they did with the Resident Evil 4 remake. It's not so much I'm worried about them keeping the Mercenaries mode as I am about the characters they add to it. With the Mercenaries United, or Reunion, whatever you want to call it, Reunion came out with the Gold Edition, and then later versions of the game like the PS4 and PS5, Xbox One versions just got all of the stuff of the Gold Edition combined with the original game, and that turned the Mercenaries mode and the Mercenaries Reunion mode, they combined and made Mercenaries United. And basically what that was is where it has all the versions of the characters from the base game of Mercenaries, but then you can also go to a page where there's all the Mercenaries Reunion characters. Now, the main reason I think it's important that they keep this is because if they do, in the version of Resident Evil 5 that we have now, the original, we are able to play as Rebecca and Barry in the Mercenaries United. And that's going to be the first time we've seen both of them in the RE engine. Now, they might have other plans and decide to remove them from the Mercenaries just because they have other plans for their character models in the other game, and they don't want to spoil them now by putting them in Mercenaries. But hey, I think it would still be cool, and I think it's possible. So next, we need it to be darker. Most of Resident Evil 5 takes place in the daytime until like Chapter 5, I'm pretty sure, is whenever it gets dark. It would be a lot scarier, I think, if they did a lot of this at nighttime. Especially because the enemy types are pretty frightening. I think if you combine nighttime with that, that would be an amazing horror game. Like, I think the enemies in Resident Evil 5 are much scarier than Resident Evil 4 remake enemies. So, I think they should definitely change the lighting up a bit. And that's really it as far as, like, the time of day goes. I think it's fine. That's really all that I think should be changed there. Next up, I have expanding upon the ancient ruins. Now, I am extremely excited. I made a video about this. I am extremely excited to see what the ancient ruins are going to look like in the RE engine. That is one of the most beautiful places and most interesting places in the Resident Evil franchise. And I think they can really make this like the best looking game ever if they went all out with the graphic design in this area. And even let us explore it more, or maybe stay there longer, make it more important. I'm not sure, but I think that would be amazing. And I'm so hopeful that they let us dive deeper into the ancient ruins of Africa. Finally, here I've got expand more upon Sheva's story and character as a whole. She is a very awesome character if you take away the fact that her AI sucks. And I think a lot of people dislike her for that reason. Her AI is unbearable if you're not playing with somebody. But granted, Resident Evil 5's like selling point was co-op play, so. But we don't know too much about her. There is a file in the game that basically tells her whole backstory, how her parents died and how she went to live with her uncle and joined like a vigilante group. But I don't know how many people actually go into the files and reading them. And I think it would be a lot cooler to hear Sheva talk about this herself. Or maybe even let us play a flashback of whenever she was younger. I think that would be amazing. And I think it would also be a great way to reintroduce her into the story for Resident Evil 9 or future Resident Evil games as a whole. But yeah, I think that about covers all my little wishlist things, I guess. I can't really think of anything else. Everything else with Resident Evil 5 is pretty good. I'm just hoping they bring a lot back from the original and they expand upon it more and maybe make a few tweaks here and there. But once again, just like the Resident Evil 4 remake, I don't think it needs much of changing. It just needs maybe some, like, no story changes, but maybe a couple of tweaks here and there as far as lighting or the scenery, you know, just minor little things like that that wouldn't be too detrimental to the story or like retcon anything huge. Or if they want to retcon Wesker's death, it'd be pretty cool. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Join the Discord. Link in description. If I forget to put the link in the description, then look at the video I uploaded before this. The link is in that description. It's going to be an easier way for you to keep in contact with me and the community. You all can interact with each other and know whenever videos are coming out next. But with all that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody, and have a great day. Peace.